Welcome back to another video here, guys. It is your boy Kesh. I actually recorded this video a little earlier, but there was no sound, so I'm gonna do it again. And of course, it actually goes perfectly with this video because I actually made a mistake in recording the video. I selected the wrong option. But what I'm not gonna do is I'm not going to shame myself for making a mistake. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and get back on my job and make this video for you guys because it is super important. Now, as you guys can see by the title, never allow shame to enter your paradigm, right? And what I mean by this is often for, let's say, those who are on the journey, who are trying to make a change, who are trying to improve their lives, right? You may experience, let's say, take 90 days, right? You may experience 80 days when you're totally on point. Everything is working for you. You feel highly motivated. Your energy is flowing properly. You're at a high vibrational state. And we often talk about high vibrational states because, in essence, it is realistically the most important thing along this journey. How you are feeling in terms of your mental and energetic state. You always want to be at the highest vibrational state that you can be at any given moment, right? It doesn't mean that it's going to happen overnight where you're just going to constantly be at a high, but that's what the work is for. Now, I'm not neglecting the work. Action is followed by identity, right? First, it's your identity, your high vibrational state, then it is your action. But let's say, for example, you take 90 days and over the course of 80 days, you are on point. But let's say 1 or 2 days, maybe even 10 days, you're feeling a little less energetic than you normally would. What most people are going to do in this situation is get severely down on themselves. And this is generally the point where people break, right? We're used to being very harsh critics. Our parents were harsh critics. Our teachers were harsh critics. Let's say our peers were harsh critics for whatever reason, right? It's funny when your peers are your biggest critics, as if they've accomplished anything. They're your peers for a reason, right? Now, I say all of that to say is that you need to be your greatest level of support. You need to be your biggest support system. In situations where you find yourself not being on point, not being high vibrational as you potentially could be, the tendency is to get severely down on yourself and to not only have those critics in your mind, but you then yourself become your biggest critic, right? You attack the self. And this is obviously something that we don't want to do because at this point, our consciousness is going to shrink. And we're gonna find that it's gonna be harder for us to see our way out of this particular situation that we are currently in, right? You never want to shrink your consciousness. This is why we aim for that high vibrational state first and foremost, because it expands our consciousness and gives us a way out of our current, maybe unfavorable situation, right? It is imperative that we do this. Now, again, the tendency for most of us is to get severely down on ourselves. And what you're going to notice is it is much harder to bounce back when you're allowing shame into your paradigm, simply because it's a higher reach to get to, let's say, a higher vibration, right? Let's say you were up here the entire time, the last, however many days. And then you feel like you've hit like a little bit of a baseline. You drop back down to baseline. What shame does unknowingly is that it brings you down even further. Let's say, for example, right? Let's say a guy out there is addicted to corn, and you guys know what I mean by corn. Let's say somebody's out there is addicted to corn. Generally, what's going to happen is after they are done, consuming this content, images, thoughts will flood their mind of shame. Now, what's going to happen is it's much harder to get out of this habit if shame is the primary thought after or during the process of engaging in this habit. Because the shame, sexual shame, is what made you do it in the first place. right? Do you guys get what I mean? It's not necessarily the behavior, it's the energy, the vibration, and the thoughts accompanied with the behavior that make you then do the behavior. If you rise above the shame, you will automatically do things that are in accordance with the highest version of you, and you will be less likely to do behaviors that are not in accordance to your highest potential, right? So instead of shaming yourself for not performing, sit with the feeling, be present with the feeling. Do not judge yourself. Understand why it is that you may have fell down. Maybe your body genuinely needed a break. But if you shame yourself, you're never going to really understand that, because again, you're going to shrink your consciousness and you're not going to get the answers that you're so desperately looking for. In fact, you're going to get more questions, right? And you're going to get more doubt. It's going to seed more doubt, right? So if you're allowing yourself to be present within this experience of, let's say, being less motivated, being less disciplined, not judging yourself for it, you can then, instead of dropping back down here, you can stay pretty even keel, and it's much easier to go from here back up than it is to go from down here and then rise above again. Because not only are you going to be challenging yourself, challenging your body to move forward, but you're also combating negative thoughts and so forth, right? You're just making it more difficult for yourself. Energy, like anything in life, is strategic. In fact, it is the very thing that is animating your body. It's animating my body. That's allowing me to do this video. It's all about your energetic state. You need to use it wisely. It is a self-preservation method to not judge or harshly criticize oneself, because you drop your energy levels significantly. This is strategy. This is war in many ways, right? If you fuck off and you are chill as hell about it. I didn't work out today, right? I mean, I did work out today, but let's say you didn't work out today, right? It's cool. Don't judge it. Understand maybe why you didn't work out. Don't say it's because you're unmotivated or undisciplined or you're not good enough or what have you. Just be still with it. Don't judge the moment. Just understand it, right? Process it. And then increase your vibration, feed yourself with positive thoughts, and I can assure you in a day or two, you're back in the gym and you're going ahead and getting the ball rolling once again, right? There's a very popular video where there's a guy going up, right? He's rolling a rock up of a straight hill, right? He's going up a straight hill. And if he stops, he drops all the way back down. That is actually not correct. Right? That is not how life works, guys. It's not all or nothing every single time down. There are little grooves within that mountain where you can rest, right? When you judge yourself, that's when you drop back down and you have to start back over. Every now and again, those grooves will help you reset, recalibrate, and figure out what you really want out of what it is that you're doing, right? And then from there, you can pick up the speed once more and move forward. So again, guys, be kind to yourselves. Don't be so harsh on yourselves. You are doing just fine. You are doing amazing, actually, right? Especially if you're tuning in to Kesh's videos, because I put in a lot of thought and I put in a lot of work outside of these videos so that when I communicate with you guys, it's coming from a place of conviction. And it's coming from a place of, I know exactly what you're going through, right? Because I've, essentially come from, some of the worst backgrounds that you can imagine, not only on a 3D physical level, but also in the higher planes of the mind, right? Coming from hell and now working to create a heaven and hopefully helping all of you do the same thing for your own personal life. So the message is clear, guys. Never allow shame to enter your paradigm. I don't give a crap what it is that you did. I don't care if you told yourself you weren't going to masturbate and then, you slipped up, right? So, move forward. I don't care if you told yourself you were going to go to the gym 7 days a week and you went 5 out of 7. I don't care. There's no reason to shame or doubt your progress. You're doing fantastic, right? That mentality, that thought pattern will get you so much further at the end of the year on a level of consistency than hard-nosed discipline ever will. I assure you, right? So make the days count. Do your best every single day. Be good to yourself. Love yourself. It's your boy Kesh signing out.